Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome to Stronger Yoga. I'm Scott. Roll out your mat. I'm recording this class live on November 5th. We're still waiting to figure out who the president is. So this will be a fun look back after a few months because we don't know. And that's life. We don't know. So step onto your mat. In fact, why don't you go ahead and come into a hero's pose while you're on your mat. And take a moment to rest your palms on your thighs. And lift through the crown of the head. Hug the shoulder blades back. Relax the eyelids on the eyes and relax the jaw without your mouth falling open. Before we get started, let's take the opportunity to breathe a little bit slower, a little bit more mindfully, and to create that warm breath. So constricting the back of the throat at the epiglottis, create that sound in your ears that might sound like an ocean wave or Darth Vader breathing. Now slowly tilt your head to the right ear coming towards the right shoulder, the way a dog kind of cocks his head when he hears a funny sound. But make sure that you're still long through your right side body, and that drawing your ear to your shoulder doesn't mean you're drawing your armpit to your hip. And then come back up to center, and then slowly lower left ear towards left shoulder without lowering left underarm towards left hip. So with our eyes closed, what we're just trying to do is start to sharpen that proprioception or awareness of our body in space. And then bring your eyes level again and slowly turn your head to your right. And just try to feel if the center of your chin is over your right collarbone or not quite there, or it can move past it. And then turn your head to the left. And when you turn the head to the left, you might unconsciously even try to pull the left shoulder forward. So keep that left shoulder blade onto your back. And come back to center. Last, lift your chin. Now, even with your eyelids closed, you might be able to sense light above you on the ceiling. But simply try to draw your chin away from your collarbones. And slowly bring your chin down to your collarbones. Now, if you had your eyes open, you probably got to witness my little weirdo there. And now bring your jawline parallel to the ground. Let's get started. Place your hands on the top edge of your mat so you're in a tabletop, all right? Now, I should be on the front camera. I'm going to switch to the side so you can see me lifting my left leg here to the left. And then what I'm going to do is just start to draw a clockwise circle to me. And as I create this circle with my kneecap, I'm just trying to draw a slightly bigger circle every time. I'm not going fast so that I'm sloppy. I'm just trying to create full range of motion. And now we're going to take that the other direction. So now this is counterclockwise. And now hold that knee up high and pull your knee back. Look to your right over your right shoulder. You should be able to see the bottom of your left foot now, or at least know where it is. And now bring your left knee towards your left elbow and extend your left leg out straight. Make sure you're not bending your right elbow. Bend your left knee and extend at the left hip. Look to your right and you should see your toes again. Let's do that again. Draw your knee out to the other side and extend your leg. So you're always following your gaze to where your foot goes. Now pull your knee into flexion, your hip into extension. Look over your right shoulder. There's your foot. And one last time, we're going to take the leg out to the left, straighten it, hold it there, keep both arms straight, and lower your left foot. And then push your butt back to your right heel and come forward. Push your butt back to your heel and come forward. One more time. Push your butt to your right heel and come forward. Taking your hands off the mat and turning the left foot out. Let's go to that camera there. And then push out to the left and back. Out to the left and back. Maybe you're going to be watching this video in a couple of months, which will be Christmas time. You might be wondering why I'm wearing Christmas pajamas. Well, me and my daughter just bought them, so we had to try them on. And I figure, why change again, right? Plant your hands and place your left knee back to your right. Let's do the other side now, guys. We're going to take the right knee up to the right and slowly start to draw counterclockwise circles. So your knee goes back and up and then forward and down. Remember, move slow enough to feel yourself trying to trace a real, honest-to-goodness circle, not an oval, and also to try to draw a slightly bigger circle every time. Now let's go clockwise. Draw your knee forward, then up, then back and down. And remember, this is a good opportunity to focus on those hands too. And elbows. So practice keeping your left arm straight as that right knee rises. Now lift the knee and draw the leg into extension. That means you should be able to look over your left shoulder and see your right foot. Look to your right and extend your right foot out to the right, trying to make your leg parallel to the floor. Bend your knee and pull the foot back and look forward over your left shoulder. And extend the leg out to the right. Keep the left arm straight when you do that. Bend the knee and pull the knee back. Look over your shoulder. Last one. We're going to take that foot out and lower it down. Sit back to the left heel and come forward. Sit back and come forward. One more time. Sit back and come back up. Taking our hands off the mat, turning the right toes out. We're going to lunge out to the right 3 times. So draw your groin over the right heel or towards it, and then come back. And then back over to the right. And back. But wearing Christmas pajamas is getting me in the spirit, and that's a good thing, right? That's got to be a good thing. Plant your hands. Step the right knee next to the left. Let's do a few cats and cows. As you inhale, lift your chin, look up at your eyebrows, and lift the bottom of your butt cheeks. And then round your back. Like an angry cat hissing, press the chin to the chest. Inhale, lift your chin and the bottom of your butt cheeks. Exhale. Try to stamp your back on the ceiling above you. One more time. Try to pull the heart forwards. That means your hands are pressing down against your mat and trying to slide forward. You'll feel a lot more stretch through the diaphragm. And then one more time, we're going to round the back, chin to chest. Look for where your belly button would be under your shirt. Come into a neutral spine. Push your butt back towards your heels. Lift the knees and down dog. Step the feet. Push down into the heels. Lift your foot, roll out the ankles. So the question really shouldn't be, why am I wearing Christmas pajamas? The question should be, why aren't you? All right, now let's press back and give ourselves our best down dog today so far. And even though you're pressing your heart back towards your big toes, it actually feels like you're trying to push down into the palms and lift and separate the armpits. The gaze is straight down instead of back at the feet. If you look straight down like your mat was a mirror, you would probably not see your feet or your hands. As you inhale, lift your right leg up. And as you exhale, step forward. Reach your right hand up. Look up for your right thumb. And then pull the hips down a little bit closer to the mat. We're going to go quite slowly through our first salutation so you can get a feel for the positions and the rhythm. Reach your right hand down and turn your body to the left 90 degrees. And then bend your left knee, lifting the left heel, sit your butt to your left foot. And what your right foot's doing, don't really pay attention to that. If we were going to hold a Cossack squat, we'd worry about this foot, okay? But just lower your butt. Lift your butt and turn back to the top of your mat. Step your right foot back, touch your chest all the way to the floor, push up, and press back again into down dog. Let's do the other side. Take that left leg up. Exhale, step forward. And reach your left hand up. When we reach up, here's what a lot of people are unconsciously doing. When you reach up with the left hand, you push into the left heel a little bit. Because the left hand reaching up, your body, even instinctively, unconsciously, wants to do better, wants to get that hands higher. So it figures if I lift my butt, my hand goes closer to the ceiling. Well, instead, pull your hips down low, like they were made of metal and your mat was a magnet. Now take your right hand, left, and turn to your body to the right. Place your fingertips in front of your right foot and bend your right knee. Now your left foot will probably come up. Like I said, don't really pay attention to your left foot just to go through this pattern of movement, because all these moves that we're going to do much slower later on. Bring your hips back to center by straightening your right leg and turn your body to the left. Plant the hands, step back, touch your chest all the way to the ground, and press back. Let's repeat that pattern, and I'll switch to the other camera. Lift your right leg. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, reach your right hand up. Exhale, reach down and turn your body to the left. Inhale, sit to your left heel, pull your chest up. Exhale, straighten your left leg, turn back to the top of your mat, step back, and touch your chest to the floor. Push up and press back. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Reach your left hand up, pull those hips down. Exhale, reach down and turn to your right. Inhale, lift your chest as you sit to your right heel. Exhale all the way until your nipples touch your thumbs. Push up and press back. Let's do another set. Lift your right leg. Exhale, step. Reach your right hand up, breathe in. Reach down, turn to your left, breathe out. Inhale, sit to the left heel, lift the heart. Exhale, turn to the top of the mat, step back, bend the elbows. Inhale, push up. Exhale, press back. Last one. Float the left leg up, breathe in. Exhale, step. Reach your left hand up, inhale. Exhale, turn your right 90 degrees. Inhale, lift your chest as you sit. Exhale, turn back to the top of your mat, step back, chest all the way to the floor, push up, press back. Lower the knees and sit to the heels. It's always nice to reaffirm our commitment to doing the practice well. So I like this nice little pause between salutation and sequencing. So sitting to the heels, rest your palms on your thighs for a moment, close your eyes, and feel how you've created that effect on your heart. You can feel your heart beating in your chest. You can feel that warmth at the forehead and the neck. So if we sit, if we're still for a long period of time, we start to feel stagnant, we start to feel sluggish. But if you think about yourself as a cauldron, you're just lighting that fire and starting to stir. And now things are starting to bubble. I know it's getting really confusing because I'm wearing Christmas pajamas and we just finished Halloween and there's the election, even scarier than that. So, step your right foot forward into a knight's position. Everything's all right. It's going to be okay. That's why I decided to call this particular flow tonight, It's going to be okay. Now, curling your left toes under, press your left knee, off the mat, and reach your hands up. Anjaneyasana. Lift the left heel and press down into the ball of your left foot. Think about the way you would dig ground out of the earth with a shovel. You would drive that shovel head straight down. I want you to think about your left foot as a shovel. And now hold your mat down with your right foot. Slide your thumbs over the ears, hug your elbows close to your cheeks, look up, and even though you're looking at the ceiling, I want you to see in your mind's eye your feet on the floor, particularly your right foot. So imagine it's a rubber stamp and it's inked, and try to leave a really good footprint on your mat with your right foot. Now begin to draw the armpits back without the elbows separating, and use the middle of the back to push your heart closer to the front of your ribs. And slowly release. Bring your hands down to your heart. Thumbs touch the sternum. Straighten the right leg. Bend the left knee. And as soon as you straighten your right leg, push down a little bit harder into the big toe, the bottom, the big toe pad. Did you feel your upper calf activate? I sure did. Now we're going to place the hands on the ground and the left knee to the mat. I have not been drinking. I haven't taken any drugs that I'm aware of, but I feel like my mind is not processing this today. Now we're going to toe heel that right foot out to the right, and don't be afraid to step kind of wide off of the mat, all right? And pushing your butt back to your heels, your hands can go wide and flat, elbows go slack. Maybe they'll come to the ground underneath your belly. But I want you, no matter how low you get your heart, I want you to isolate where your belly button is, bring it to your mind's eye, and then draw a clockwise circle like there is a laser pointer coming out of your navel. And draw a clockwise circle at the navel over your mat. There's still a tremendous amount of mystery, despite all the science, on why yoga has such a great effect on the body and on the health and lowers chance of mortality by every measure. People live longer lives when they practice yoga. And now we're going to take that circle counterclockwise. But lately, the mounting research seems to suggest it's not necessarily the pose itself and the stretch. It's simply the fact that we move more. We move more in ways we typically don't, the way we might have had to when we didn't have houses and couches. and release. Now come back onto your hands and lift your right leg up into the air. Remember that position we held like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant? This time when you look over your left shoulder, reach back and capture your foot and pull your heel to your tailbone. And then lift the right knee up and press into the ball of your left foot and in the fingertips of your right hand. Release. Bring your right leg through into a pigeon position. And then work your right toes closer to the top of your mat and maybe slide your butt back. And again, I want you to try to wiggle around. And even though you're going to have far less range of motion and it's going to feel clunkier, try to draw a little clockwise circle with your belly button. Movement. The more you give your body the experiences of movement, the more your body says, okay, yeah, I can do that. I remember doing that. I did that the other day. Movement is medicine. And yoga seems to currently have the greatest sales and marketing pitch. It's sexy and yoga clothes are expensive and cool now. When I started doing yoga, it wasn't cool. God damn it. Now I sound like that bitter old man, don't I? Back in my day. Sorry, guys. We're just moving around. We're just wiggling. But I am going to give you a nice solid challenge before the class is over today. But we're just taking our time, working ourselves back into that positive mental state where the biggest thing on our minds isn't who's the next president or what side you're on, the Crips or the Bloods. Bend your knees, pedal your feet. And now push your heart away from the top of your mat with the palms of your hands. Create a slight bend at the knees. That little reduction in tension of the hamstrings means the low back can pull the bottom of the butt cheeks up. That would be like you trying to lift your pubic bones towards the ceiling. Lower the knees. We're back in a tabletop. Step the left foot forward into a knight's position. And since I never know which class of mine you might have watched, I do want to emphasize something I've said in quite a few videos recently. It's a good idea for yoga teachers as well as aspiring teachers and students as well. If somebody has a hard time bearing weight on their hands and working with their wrists, they can always spend more time in a tabletop, less time in a down dog, and they can always step forward a little bit easier without having to push into the hands. So bearing that in mind, let's switch back to this one and push into the ball of your right foot. When I push my knee forward, the weight goes into the forefoot. That's fine. But as soon as I lift my right knee, I try to get left heel down, right heel up, reach up into the air. And if you do watch these videos regularly, you know what a horn dog I am about the feet. I have a foot fetish. I'm not gonna deny it. But my foot fetish is related to yoga and the fact that we have to get stronger feet, greater mobility through the feet, adapt to more natural shoes. And people don't like to hear that. My shoes are so cute. Slide thumbs over the ears. And bring the elbows in until they're pointing forward. Think about your eyes and your elbows like the 4 headlights on a sports car. They're all shining down the road in the same direction, okay? And now, holding the sides of the head in the palms, lift the elbows without driving the head back against the fingers. And now that it might feel like you put your shoulder blades on a shelf, try to lift your heart up with your shoulder blades leveraged on the invisible shelf. And release slowly. Bring your palms to your chest, thumbs touch the xiphoid, that's the bottom of your sternum, where that bony plate meets that soft underneath at the solar plexus. And straighten the left leg and bend the right knee. Now, if we're looking at the side, you can always see these angles I'm trying to create, which is basically a straight line, left heel to hip, and hips to crown. And looking in my monitor there, I can't bring my right knee any closer to the ground even though I want to. And plant your hands. Woo! And that's what my body gave me today. We're going to take left foot wide out to the left. And if we can't get the elbows to the ground, we can always step the hands wide and maybe bend them a little bit. Now, if you'll recall, on the first side, we were using the weird metaphor that you have a laser pointer sticking out of your belly button. So start to draw a counterclockwise circle. And as you look at the center of your mat, try to imagine that laser. And maybe your cat just going crazy. What is that? Get it, get it. And just try to trace a consistent circle. It's the mindfulness of the movement that creates the synergy in the body that makes it much more of effective practice and a process than simply moving around. And just moving your body and wiggling it around is great too. There's a word for it. It's called dancing. Now draw a clockwise circle. Now I know two guys that are always watching my videos, my good buddies, Ryan and Kyle Warnock. Shout out to those guys, and to the Thundercats, the Thunderbreads, the lacrosse team. If any of you guys are watching, thanks for being here today. And now we're going to plant those hands. The left leg goes up, reach over with your right hand and grab your left foot. Pull your heel to your tailbone. Lift your left knee up without dropping your right shoulder. Bring your left knee through into a pigeon and slide the right knee back. Bring your elbows down, your heart, and again, make a smaller circle. Remember, it's going to want to be kind of a triangle now because you got a lot more leverage of your body on the floor, so there's less opportunities for it to move fluidly. But try to create that. Because the more you're moving and creating those circles, the more you're stimulating all of that connective tissue in the left hip. Right in that acetabulum socket. One of your bones is sort of having like gropey, weird, awkward sex with one of your other bones. Yeah, that's what I think about. My bone's having sex. I don't know. I'm a niche market, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. Come on to your hands. And press back into downward facing dog. Lift your chin. If your eyes are open, you remember you're trying to find that spot on your mat where you can't see your feet or your hands. Remember, your practice is going to look differently, feel differently. You're going to see different things. So please don't attach to any one idea as being correct or being the truth. Lift your right leg and step forward. Turn your body to the left and sit to your left heel. Now we'll spend a little bit of time in that Cossack squat. So we're going to take the right toes and point them up and draw the left knee out, left arm in, and then try to slide or push your left knee away from your right knee with your left arm. Imagine trying to slide a piece of paper over the floor and push your left knee away from your right and then hold it there with your left hand. Then just take your right hand out to the right and begin to bow your heart. As you bow and the elbows bend, you're going to feel you're putting a little bit more pressure on the inside of that left knee, which is going to create more tension probably on the inside of your right thigh. Release. Go ahead and rise up, lift the butt. We're going to come into a warrior two. Turn the right foot out. Yeah, this Christmas jammies. Reach your hands away from your heart. Lunge into that right knee until your right shin is perpendicular to the earth. Unlock your left knee. Don't lock it out. Don't be rigid. Remember, we lock out a joint, we're locking out potential for movement. Movement is what makes all this work. It's the stimulation on a cellular level of all that connective tissue being moved around, swished around like your clothes in the washing machine. Transition to triangle. And guys, make it pretty. Guys, come on. Tilt the pelvis. Hand on the shin, but don't let that lock out your knee. Or back of the hand to the inner calf. Maybe hand on a block, maybe the floor. Doesn't matter. Reach your left hand up. So as I look to the side camera here today, I can't see myself in the mirror. The mirror's behind me, and you can see my back body. But I'm always in a triangle, just feeling for the length and straightness of my spine. And that usually means tightening in this case, the left glute, the top. And then once I feel like I'm rooted into the right foot, I'll plant the tip of my right big toe. And then lean back so that if your right leg from the ankle to the hip was touching a wall, you'd get both shoulder blades on the wall and your left arm all the way to your fingertips. That's a long hold, but you'll be glad we held it. Now come into reverse. Bend your right knee, reach your right hand up. Your left hand can go to your thigh if you need the support there, or place it on the back at your waistband, just above your butt cheeks. Reach your right hand up and back. Now these poses, they go together all the time because they flow together so well, but they also work together on a biomechanical level very well. And plus, it's easy to get a lot of Vinyasa yogis on board. Those are all things they're familiar with. Now come forward, plant your right fingers in front of your toes, and then slide your left foot forward until you can lift it up. And come into half moon. And I want to give you guys every option here, any variation. You can place your hands on your back like you're hiding something and lift your left leg, trying to turn your chest and face the same direction as your left toes are pointing. You could also grab your right ankle with your right hand and pull yourself down. If you want to work hard, reach your hands forward like you're holding a basketball above your head. And if you haven't yet, place your right hand on the mat or the floor, left foot or left hand and left foot to the ground. Rise up. And we're at the top of the mat, and I didn't butcher that too much, trying to get you there. Let's go ahead and cross the right ankle to the left thigh. Let's go over here. And When we've been standing on the right leg for a period, we always want to take the opportunity and switch off of it. It gives those muscles an opportunity to relax out of that active, ready state. Maybe you start to feel crampy or muscles going to failure. So I always think of this, stepping both feet to the top of the mat, as sort of halftime for, in this case, the right leg. And then it runs back out onto the field after halftime to finish the game. Plant your right foot, reach your hands up in the air, take a deep breath. Exhale, hinge forward. Fingertips to the mat, lift the left leg, step the left foot back, and lower the left knee down. Walk your right foot left until the right knee comes down. Reach back with the right hand for the left foot. Press the heel down. And if you want, as an option, you could always reach back with the other hand as well. So that left hand is holding the outside of your foot. Right hand is holding the inside of your foot. And then kick the bottom of the shin or the top of the foot into the palms. It helps to put pressure into the knees, even trying to energetically drag the knees towards each other just a little bit. Just creates a little bit more buoyancy in the pelvis. Release. Plant the hands. That was so nice. Press back into downward facing dog. And let's just flip once. Lift your right leg, step your right foot to the outside of your left thigh, and flip over here. And if you want, you can lift your left foot and touch your toes. But more importantly, by pressing into the right heel as you flip back over, we were shutting off those hip flexors. Now pressing back, let's take some deeper breaths through the nose. And again, even if your eyes are closed, you want to orient your face to your mat, like you would look into a mirror. So proprioception is our ability to do that, to create that feeling in the head and the neck, even though the mat is not, in fact, a mirror. We can see it in our mind. Lift the left leg, step forward, and turn to the right, and sit to the right heel. This time we're going to take the left toes and point them up. Right hand on the ground. And I'm going to slide it to the right. And my tricep is going to push my knee away from my other knee. Then the left hand goes out to the left. And then as you bend the elbows to try to lower the heart, this orientation is going to give you, I guarantee you, that lengthening on the inner left thigh and the back of the left thigh. See if you can take some of the roundness out of your back. Try to pull the collarbones away from the hip bones. Release. Lift your butt, bringing hips to center. Rise up. Turn your left foot out. Come into warrior two. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Feeling Christmassy? Might put up the tree tonight. I hope my kid didn't hear that. Close your eyes. Hold the pose, but move the breath. And don't be afraid to move the body. Or take a deep breath in and hold it. People watching this video have never had more license to do whatever the fuck they want. You can't do this in a yoga class. Just start picking your nose or drinking a beer, cracking open a new beer. And that's just not acceptable. But at home in your living room it is. Come into triangle. So if I've got let me switch here. There we go. From here, you should be able to get a good view of my spine. And what I'm trying to do here is, instead of getting the left hand down and gloriously touching the floor, if it means that the left side of my body is now substantially shorter and this side is longer, that means my spine is bowing and I don't explode. I'm just trying to be aware of the shape I'm creating and create more sensation in the shapes I'm creating, and try to hold the pose with integrity and breathe gently and calmly, even though I've subjected my body to my own positive stresses. If you create a micro bend in the right knee and push into the arch of your foot without losing the knife edge, you might be able to pull your tailbone back and get your tailbone on the same wall that your right arm and back of your body is touching. And let's reverse. Back of the right hand to the low back. Reach up with the left hand and bend the left knee. Lower the right shoulder to the right ankle. Keep the lunge in the left knee and keep the straight left arm. Keep pinning the left armpit back, but not so that you're turning your chest to the ceiling, but just trying to keep your chest facing the wall that you're looking at. And release. Left fingertips are going to come in front of the left foot. And we can step the right foot forward, slide it forward, until we can lift the right leg without lunging off of the right leg. And again, any option here that you want to adopt is up to you. Reaching the hands away from the heart, binding the hands behind your butt. Just focus on breathing, trying to stack the hips and the shoulders, and constantly trying to work the eyes across the floor to the right until the eyes start to climb the wall. So that's really the most challenging part of developing better balance, is actually being able to move your head while you're balancing. Left hand to the floor if you haven't done it yet. Right hand down, right foot down. Hands to the knees, stick out the butt. As you exhale, gently pull down, round, and look at the back of your mat, and rise up. Reach for the sky, as Woody would say. If we were watching a Toy Story movie, we just worked this left leg and balanced. So now it's halftime for the left leg. So it's going into the locker room. That's your right thigh, all right? And we're going to push the knee down, stick out the butt, pull the chest forward, and breathe. If your shirt is hanging off your torso, can you glue your chest to the front of your shirt? Release. Plant the left foot, reach both hands high, take a deep breath. Right, reach out as you fold, and take the right foot back, step all the way back, and lower the right knee down. Toe heel your left foot until you're in a pigeon stance. Reach back with your left hand, capture the right foot. Now, if there's a lot of pressure of your right knee against your mat or the floor, try to drag it forward without bending it too much. What you're trying to do is pull the patella bone to the shin side so that you're putting pressure on the bottom of your femur, and that'll feel better to you. In other words, just try to drag your right knee forward before you really reach back and put more weight or pressure on it. If you can get both hands to the back of the right leg, it doesn't mean you're a good person, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person if you can't. I mean, the only way you could really be a bad person is if you're just sitting there watching this like a weirdo, watching somebody else do work. I'll come to your house and watch you vacuum the carpet. I'm doing work here. Get down. Release. I kid because I love. I've been talking to this camera forever, and I'm on that one. That's why live is rough, guys. All right. Step back. Step your left foot over your right leg and flip over. Lift your right foot. If you can, straighten the leg and try to touch your toes, but most importantly, push down hard into your left foot. Release and flip back over. Downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the center of your mat. Sit to your heels. Palms to the thighs. Heroes. Stronger heroes. Take a moment to capture your breath. And then we'll work on our sort of pseudo apex today. But let's bring the heart rate down. Take a moment to not only appreciate, but marvel at the body's strength. When I was young, they made this weird top. It had a gyro motor in it. And you would get the gyro motor spinning and then just leave the top spinning. It would just go on forever. And I'm reminded of that right now as I just gather my breath. Because that's what the practice does. It gets us revved up so that we can start spinning again and have the energy, the motivation to stay upright, keep spinning instead of falling. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? All right, plant your hands, lift your knees, and take a moment to just bounce towards the heels. But I want you to turn your heels in and point your toes out. So it looks like that. Just try to butterfly the legs at the knees. Now, when we were in the Cossack position, I was asking you to try to push the knee away from the other knee. Now, we're in we're in the stance where we can do it on both sides. That's what I'm trying to fucking say. So lean forward until you feel weight in your hands and your elbows bending are just going to ply the knees open just a little bit more. And then release that. Go ahead and stand up. Stand at the center of your mat. And let's just see if we can combine balance with an open hip position. So turning your left toes to the left, and it's not that fucking important. Why did I even say that like that? Like, make your big toe a quarter inch from the edge of your mat. Just point your right toes forward, and I want you to lift your left leg to the left. I'm going to go the camera to the left. And now, as I place my right hand on my right knee, I'm going to hold my left knee with my left hand, or slide the hand midway down the foot to the shin. Okay? Then slide your right hand down your right shin. And you can hold your left leg from the knee all the way to the foot. And All I want you to focus on, as I'm trying to focus and talk you through this, is cocking your knee towards your shoulder and lifting it away from the floor while you try to touch the floor with your right hand. And now draw your collarbones away from your thighs and stick out your butt. And release. Okay, let's try that on the other side. I torment you because I love you. And my other favorite saying has nothing to do with yoga. You won't find it in any of the yoga books. Although I'm pretty sure Krishnamacharya said this all the time. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Now bring your weight into your left foot and lift your right knee. Left hand on the left knee, right hand on the right knee. Right hand doesn't have to move from there, but it can. Woo! Slowly start sliding your left hand down your left leg. And when you do that, you'll feel your spine going into flexion and lateral flexion. And then touching the floor or the toe and holding the right leg. What we're trying to do is find that extension in the spine again and the separation of the knees to open the hips. See, sometimes we do balancing poses that just don't provide enough challenge to us because our head is upright. Rise up and release. So if you don't have to move your head into any other plane, then we're missing an opportunity to really strike at the core of what's going to make our balance stronger. Balance has 3 components. How long have you guys been laughing at me talking at that camera? Balance has 3 components, and only one of which is the actual muscles. Go ahead and kneel down. Oh, that was nice. And the heart rate is up, and there's sweat on the forehead again. Again! And by that I mean, guys, your exercise regimen, your yoga practice, your lifting, all of those things are great and important. Just try to sweat a little bit every day. Now, take the knees wide and lower the head to the mat or to the stacked palms and catch your breath. And let's wrap it up by lying down on our back for a nice little supine twist. And while we're finishing up the practice today, I just really want to thank you guys for being here. It seems like a modest step for so many great channels on YouTube that I admire, but we've hit 300 subscribers. And I hope to look back on this day and go like, wow, that was awesome. That was the day I wore my Christmas pajamas. Now, take your hands and capture your knees, and then draw circles with your knees, like 2 synchronized swimmers. And going clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't matter, just notice which one you're doing. Because now we're going to switch and take those circles the other way. More than anything, it may just feel like you're massaging your kidneys. Now pull those knees a little bit down more firmly towards the shoulders and biceps, separating the knees so a camera on the ceiling could see the design on your shirt. Then slide your hands down your shin, capture the outside edge of your feet with the soles of your feet together. And while you're holding your feet, try to draw your knees down to the floor. You'll feel a stretch in the outer ankles. You'll also feel those hips working open. You'll feel, I hope, that your pelvis is tilting and your lumbar's peeling off the floor. And then release. Plant your feet and then place the left ankle on the right thigh. Let your knees gently melt to your left. Reach your right hand up. Rest the back of your right hand on the floor above your head, and then reach away from your right knee as you press your right knee down. Release and switch. Cross right ankle to left thigh. Mindfully guide the knees to the ground to the right. Reach your left hand above your head and slide your fingernails along the floor and press your left knee down with your right leg and your left inner thigh. And release. With both feet planted and your knees bent, rest your palms on the floor next to your hips. And as you inhale, lift your butt, reach your hands up and back until your hands are resting where they were when you were reaching back. As you exhale, bring your butt and your hands back to the floor. And again, inhale, lift your butt. Push into the heels, reach your hands up and back. Exhale, lower the hips and the hands. Let's do one more, guys. Inhale, lift your butt, push into your feet, reach your hands up and back. And when your hands come to rest above your head, leave them there while you slowly lower your butt. And now try this. Bend the elbows 90 degrees so that your arms are in sort of a cactus or a goalpost position. And slide your heels out till your legs are straight. Heels near the top corners of your mat. Let your legs go limp so your toes fall out. Now, if you can remain in this position, particularly the arms and the shoulders, this is a great way to work a more passive line across the elbows, across the chest. And maybe we need that if we've sort of built this big defensive wall in the last few weeks or months or hours, depending on what kind of a day you've had. But having said all that, if you'd rather rest your arms at your sides with your palms up or down, do that. As your body melts into Shavasana, I just want to thank you again for being here with me to do a little bit of yoga. And if you'd like some free stickers or something, leave me a comment so we can get in touch with each other. I've got the weirdest stickers in the world for your water bottle. Anyway, guys, I love you and I thank you guys for being here. God bless you. Namaste. Namaste. Wrong camera again. Live is fun. Thanks, guys.